The first woman I saw on television wearing her hair in a natural on the Ed Sullivan Show was Mary McKeeba. And I remember sitting there as a teenager, like, how could she do that? She sings beautifully. She's a beautiful woman. Why would she wear her hair like that on television? The whole world can see, you know what I'm saying? So that's the insecurities that was implanted about our hair. In those days, you couldn't try on the clothing in the stores as an African American. And we're talking about pre-civil rights. So, I mean, you couldn't try on a hat, or you couldn't try on shoes. So when I became a teenager, it was a big thing for me to go downtown by myself, unaccompanied by my mom, and buy shoes that I could try on for the first time. I wanted to be a part of the change that I saw developing as a result of the civil rights movement. That had a lot to do with me coming into consciousness, as I call it, cultural consciousness, beginning to, as in the 60s, see self-pride as being an African American. I remember coming home from a march, and my grandmother said, "Oh, you always for the underdog." And I said, "Mama, we are the underdog." And she didn't get it, you know. I mean, it's like, go along with life and you know, just, you know, have a nice thing. But the social climate of the time is what really thrusted me to want to be a part of it and want to see change occur. In the early 70s, a friend, Jamila, had married an African man who was a trader, and he was bringing goods to the country. So again, we began to have a little bit more flow of African merchandise. So he bought leather goods and jewelry and fabrics and textiles. Then I was doing my work, and then I had another friend who was just a guy who loved artistic things. And the three of us got together and opened up a boutique in downtown Baltimore. Mind you, there was no spaces in downtown Baltimore with an African presence ever. I did the fashion shows for about 20 years. And again, that got me a lot of notoriety and coverage from all over. I traveled the country, and I've traveled, you know, outside the country. I've done fashion shows in Europe, and I've done shows in Brazil. One of the last grants that I've gotten, I went to Ghana and studied textile arts there for a minute and came back and did a presentation with that. I've done fashion shows at various museums. I saw my work being more on the level of classics, more than just like a boutique garment, but garments that were really classics. And I felt like I belonged in a museum. Anytime somebody comes to a fashion show and tell you that the beauty brought tears to their eyes and made them cry, then I knew that I was on the mark, that I was doing more than a fashion show. Black people have always been a people of adornment. We have always celebrated nature and our environment in our adornment.